Hello and welcome back to the another episode of Daily News Quiz Analysis for IAS Prelims 2025. It is 4th March today, and in this video we are going to solve some important questions which are very much relevant for your preparation. But before we start our discussion, I would like to give you the brief introduction about this initiative so that if you are new to our channel, you will get more connected with us. Basically in this video we are going to discuss three types of questions which would be taken from three different sources. So depending on it, the first phase of questions which we are going to discuss here, or we can say the first set of questions, would be taken from the current affairs. What we are going to do? We will take up the most important articles from the newspapers. We will try to break them down into the simplest language possible, and we will try to derive the possible prelims questions from those particular articles, so that it will give you the idea what should be your approach when you are reading the newspapers, which articles are important for you, and how you can expect a possible prelims question from those particular articles. After solving questions with respect to current affairs, we will shift our approach to the another part, which would contain questions from the static portion or static topics. Currently we are discussing Indian polity, and in Indian polity we are discussing currently the Parliament of India. So in the Parliament of India we are going to discuss few important concepts related to Rajya Sabha today, and we will try to derive the possible prelims question around those important concepts, so that it will give the idea how exactly the question can be asked in the exam with respect to these topics. After solving questions with respect to current affairs and the static part, we will shift our approach to the last part of our discussion. Here are questions. To me, this is the most important part of our discussion, because in here we will learn what is the vocabulary used by UPSC over the years, what are the different trends they can form, what are the different trends they can use for framing your papers, and also we'll try to learn what can be the different techniques which we can implement in the exam if we don't have the proper knowledge, and also we'll try to learn how we can implement this information which we will get through this video in the upcoming exam. So this is in nutshell what we are going to do in this video. Now before we'll start our discussion, I would like to request you guys, please do subscribe the channel, share it with your friends so that they may also get benefited from this initiative. And please do write in the comments what else should we bring for you guys, because this initiative is for you. We are here to help you. Do write in the comments what else should we bring for you. If you feel confused anywhere, please do write in the comments. We will try our best to approach you guys, to reach out to you guys and clear that confusion. With this, let us start our discussion by answering the first question. As you can see here on the screen, the question is basically about the obesity in India. We had discussed this topic earlier also. We discussed it because there was the mention of obesity was, obesity was mentioned by PM Narendra Modi in Man Ki Baat, and he highlighted what are the various reasons there is a rising trend in obesity in India. So with respect to this, we will go further in detail with respect to obesity in India when we will take the context of this question. First, let us solve the question here, get the basic information about this question, get the basic information about basic information which can be asked in the exam with respect to obesity first. Then we will shift to the context and find out why we brought this question and what else was mentioned in the newspaper today. Here the question says, regarding the rising prevalence of obesity in India, consider the following statement. First statement, increased consumption of ultra processed foods and sedentary lifestyles are significant contributing factors. 100% correct. The sedentary lifestyle, the ultra processed foods are the major significant contributors to the obesity in India basically. So first statement is 100% correct. Second statement, it says government initiatives like the Fit India movement and the Eat Right movement aim to address this issue. 100% correct. Nothing wrong with the statement. Third statement, the prevalence of abdominal obesity is growing concern, particularly among women. 100% correct. And this is one of the drawback of the BM body mass index, which is used to find obesity in India. One of the drawback is body mass index does not tell us where this fat is available. So this is the issue. The prevalence of abdominal obesity is a growing concern, particularly among women. So this statement is also correct. Fourth statement, the problem of obesity is only prevalent in the urban population of India. This is totally incorrect. It is a stereotype which has developed over years that people with money have the obesity, but it is not, it has nothing to do with the money, but it has the lifestyle we live in. And it is very much established fact that even the rural people living, poor people, they are also facing the obesity issues, and they had the obesity is also on the rise in the rural areas. But if we compare the rural and urban areas, it may be in urban areas the obesity might be more, but it is not like that. In urban, in rural areas there is no obesity. So fourth statement, it is totally incorrect. So with respect to this question, we understood what first we understood the question, and we can easily frame the correct answer to this. We can easily find out the correct option to this question, and the correct option for this question is option A. Now with this, let's establish why we discussed this question. About this obesity in India, there was discussion earlier also when PM Narendra Modi discussed about it, and today also there was discussion in the newspaper, and it basically discussed about the body mass index, how it is found out, how we can find out the obesity. It discussed about that, and it discussed about various ways in which we can go get away from this obesity, this sedentary lifestyle. How we can what are the different way, what is the way forward in this to get away from this obesity, the sedentary lifestyle, or we can say the obesity in India, how we can get away from it. It was discussed in the newspaper. First, let's understand how this obesity is established, how we find obesity, how we can calculate obesity. Usually it is done by the body mass index. So please understand that body mass index, and how WHO, what WHO recommends, we should know that a body mass index, weight by height square, you have to calculate it, what is your weight, and this, and divide it by height square. And if it is above, if the ratio is above 25, then you are overweight, and if it is above 30, then you are obese. If then you are obese, if it is above 25, then you are overweight, and if it is above 30, then you are obese. This is accepted worldwide, but for India it is different. If you are for India, if it is between, for India, if it is between 23 and 23 to 25, if it is between 23 and 25, then you are overweight. And for India, if it is above 25, then you are obese. If you are, it is above 25, if above 25, if above 25, then you are obese. So please remember these facts. These facts can be asked in the exam. So with respect to this, we understood how how we established whether a person is obese or not, whether he is overweight or not. Now what can be the impact of the obesity on the Indian economy? We have to establish that, we have to understand that, when a person is facing, is struggling from obese is having the obesity issues, we know that his ability, his activity gets compromised, his productivity gets compromised. And if we will look it into the economical terms, it is estimated that approximately 1% of the GDP gets impacted, because of the 1% of the GDP of the country gets impacted because of the obesity. So definitely there, and it is worried that it may increase to the 2% also, 1.5% also. So definitely there is a huge impact of obesity on the economy, on the social life of the person. And also this obesity is, it has stereotypes associated with it. If children are facing from obesity, they get bullied in the school, and this remains with them, within their psyche forever they live. So forever they live, it remains with their psyche. So definitely obesity is a coming pandemic, as we discussed in our earlier classes also. Now in this newspaper, there were a few way forwards given, given in the newspaper, which can be implemented to overcome this obesity issue in our country. And they are start dialogue regarding the issue. We should start discussing it. It as the PM Narendra Modi, he discussed it. So we should give it the recognition that it is really the problem. We should start discussing it. Promote regular physical activity. Physical activity should be promoted. And taxation on certain types of foods should be increased which are harmful for the health, and subsidize certain types of food which are helpful for the health. And also we should regularly track the BMI index, what is the body mass index, it should be tracked regularly. And also uh, major focus should be on the schools, because in schools we learn, whatever we learn that in the schools. So the regular focus, our habits, we learn our habits from the schools, so focus should be on the schools. So these are few way forwards which were given in the newspaper. So with this, I hope you had understood the article as well as the question, and also the core concept revolving the obesity in India. Now, I hope you had understood what are the WHO, or what is the way given by the WHO, what is the ratio for the obesities for the world, and what is for the India. It is slightly different. And also we understood in our previous classes also the abdominal obesity, which is not counted by BMI index, which is one of the major issue, one of the major drawback associated with the body mass index. So with this, I hope you had understood every important aspect of this topic. If any question would be asked with respect to this topic, I hope you are more than ready to answer that question in the exam. Now with this, let's move to the another slide and see what question we had brought there. Here the question is with respect to the virtual digital assets. Now first let's solve the question, then we will shift to the context why we had brought this question. Here the question says, with reference to virtual digital assets in India, consider the following statements. Like I will give you the example in layman's example. You would have heard cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and all that. It is similar to that virtual digital assets. So let's solve the question. Here the question says, with reference to virtual digital assets in India, consider the following statements. First statement: the Reserve Bank of India recognizes all VDAs as legal tender. Totally incorrect. This is absurd statement. This is totally incorrect. Second statement: the taxation regime for VDAs include a specific tax rate on gains for their transfer. 100% correct, nothing wrong with the statement. Third statement: the Prevention of Money Laundering Act has been amended to include VDAs within its purview. 100% correct, nothing wrong with the statement. Fourth statement: the regulatory framework for VDAs aim to promote their use in cross-border trade without any restriction. This is totally incorrect, because there would be, when you are going to regulate VDAs, and its aim would be to promote their use in cross-border trade, but with some restrictions. Restrictions would definitely be there. So with respect to this question, the correct statement would be statement 2 and statement 3. Now you may ask me a question, sir, why we discussed this, because why we discussing this topic, because the new income tax bill which was introduced on the floor of the parliament, which may replace the income tax act of 1961, that has included the taxation on virtual digital assets. So about virtual digital assets, the taxation, the income tax bill, new income tax bill, which is going to replace the Income Tax Act of 1961, that has included virtual digital assets. That has included virtual taxation on virtual digital assets. So it became important for us to understand what these virtual digital assets are. So about virtual digital assets, its definition was given by the Finance Bill 2022, and that gave the definition of the virtual digital assets. I will like to read that definition. Any information, code, number, or token not being Indian currency or foreign currency, generated through cryptographic means or otherwise, with the promise of being used in any transaction or as an investment. What does it mean? Any information, it may be this digital asset, it may be information, it may be code, or it may be number, or any token, it may be token, it may be code, number, token, which is not an Indian currency, neither it is a foreign currency, neither it is legal Indian currency nor foreign currency, but it is generated, it may be generated through cryptography, it is generated through cryptographic means or otherwise. And for what purpose it is generated, the purpose is that it may be used in transactions or as an investment. So if these qualities are in any token, any code, or any number, if it is not a legal tender of any country, or it is not a legal currency of any current country or currency of India, and it is generated through cryptography or any other means with a promise that it may be used in transactions and investments, then that system, that number, that particular thing is a virtual digital asset. So with respect to this one, we understood this definition was given by the Finance Bill 2022. So with this, government was very much keen in regulating the income, in regulating the virtual digital assets. There should have, with respect to virtual digital assets, the government was very much keen in regulating it. So this income tax bill 2025, it is going to add the virtual digital asset. It is going to it is going to have the taxation on the virtual digital assets, and there were few key provisions which were given there, how this taxation would be taken on with respect to the virtual digital assets. Right now we don't need to remember everything, because yet this bill is not yet this bill is not passed by the houses. Once it will be passed, once it will be notified, then it will become important for us to understand. But still, let's understand few key features of this bill. It first thing we should know that it explicitly treated VDAs, virtual digital assets, as property. When it is a property, then definitely taxation can happen over this. And also, for example, if there would be any raid, the government will have right to take VDAs. For example, if government is going to raid any official or any person, so then government has the right to take the assets of that particular person. Similarly, under those assets, they can take these virtual digital assets also. And also there it is proposed that 30% of the tax is proposed for it. 30% of the tax is proposed for the virtual digital assets. I hope this much information is enough for you with respect to virtual digital assets. When was the definition established for them? And these important points are enough for you to crack any question if asked in the exam with respect to them. So with this, let's move to the another slide and see what question we had brought there. Here the question is regarding the sacred groves in India. Why we brought this question here, because in December we saw that how the government, how the Supreme Court recognized this socio-ecological and cultural importance of these sacred groves, or we can say orans, in Rajasthan. And how the Supreme Court recommended that government should bring these sacred groves under forest laws. How the Supreme Court recommended that the government should bring these sacred groves under forest laws. But in today's newspaper there was criticism related to that, how it can very much impact the very purpose of the sacred groves if it would be brought in the in these forest laws. It can very much impact these, it can impact the very purpose of the sacred groves. So before going to the before we will understand the impact, we will first learn we will first answer the question. We will learn basic information about the sacred groves, then we will go to that impact, what the author is talking about. Here the question says, regarding sacred groves in India, consider the following statements. First statement: sacred groves are patches of forests or natural vegetation that are dedicated to local deities or spirits. 100% correct, nothing wrong in the statement. They play a significant role in biodiversity conservation and watershed protection. 100% correct. Third statement: sacred groves are legally protected under Wildlife Protection Act 1972 across all the states of India. Totally incorrect. Fourth statement: the cultural practices associated with sacred groves often restrict the extraction of resources from these areas. 100% correct. So with respect to this question, the correct statements are statement 1, statement 2 and statement 4, and from the code given below, the correct code would be option A. Now we saw that how the Supreme Court, first we understood the question here, and also we know that how the Supreme Court recommended that government should bring bring the sacred groves under forest laws. We understood that this judgment, this statement was given by the Supreme Court in 2024 in T.N. Godavarman versus Union of India case. But here the concern is raised by the author that there can be different concerns if it would be brought under the forest laws. First thing, once these sacred groves would be brought under the forest laws, it would become in a way a central government property, and central government can can do anything with it. It can lease it for the tourism, it can give it to any company which can in a way violate the very purpose of the what was the purpose of this, to protect these lands, into the, in a way violate it. So this is the first issue which was raised by the author here. And also second issue, which was raised by it, declare them as a community. Second thing which was recommended was declare them as a community reserve under the Wildlife Protection Act 1972. If these sacred groves would be declared as the community reserve under the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972, what will they do? These community reserves, these community people, they have only the recommendation, but it is kind of a recommending body. They don't have the final authority, so definitely it will take away the power from the local people who are protecting them. So definitely it will in a way violate them. And also, these are the major issues which were highlighted by the these were the issues which were highlighted by the author here, that if it would be given to the, if it would be brought in under the forest laws, definitely these lands, these parcels of lands will go under the central law, and it can be, center can violate it. And also if it will be given under the community reserves, then the community will not have the real power, they will just have the recommendationary power. So definitely it will violate the very purpose of these sacred groves. So these were the issues which were highlighted by the author in this article. I hope you had understood the question as well as the context of the question. Now with this, let's move to the another slide and see what question we had brought there. Here the question is regarding the regional 3R forum in Asia and Pacific. Consider the following statement. So first, why we are discussing this question, because 12th regional 3R forum is being conducted in Jaipur in India, so it becomes important for us. So let's understand regarding the regional 3R forum through this question. First statement: the 3R forum focuses exclusively on reducing the use of plastics in the region. No, not exclusively on plastics. It has a very wider range. Even the plastics may be included, but not only plastics, not exclusively on plastics. So first statement is incorrect. Second statement: the forum is an initiative of the United Nations Environment Program in collaboration with the regional government. 100% correct. Nothing wrong with the statement. Third, its primary objective is to promote the reduce, reuse, recycle principles for sustainable waste management. 100% correct. Nothing wrong with the statement. Fourth, the 3R forum advocates for the complete elimination of waste generation in all participating countries. No, it is not about the complete elimination, but it is sustainable growth in a way. So fourth statement is incorrect. So with respect to this question, the correct statements would be statement 2 and statement 3, and from the code given below, the correct code would be option B. Now with this, we understood the question itself and the reason why we had brought this question. Basically under this forum, the government discussed about the circular economy, and the government of India proposed 3R coalition, which you should know. 3R coalition, which is proposed by 3R coalition proposed by government of India. So please remember that under this forum, under this meeting which was conducted in Jaipur, the government of India proposed 3R coalition. So please remember that. With this, let's move to the another slide and see what question we had brought there. Here the question is with respect to the project Dolphin launched by the government of India. So let's understand why we are discussing this question. First, because it has given us the data how much dolphins are available around in Indian waters, especially the Gangetic dolphins. It has highlighted the number, which is 6,327, 6,327 Gangetic dolphins in our country. And it also highlight that what are the states which have highest number. It is UP, and then followed by Bihar. They have the highest number of Gangetic dolphins. So this status which is given by the project Dolphin, in this status, it would act as the, you know this survey, it will act as the reference point from now onwards, whether from now onwards when it would be checked whether the number of dolphins is increasing or decreasing. This would be the reference point with respect to that. So this much information is enough for you with respect to the context. Now let's solve the question. Here the question says, regarding Project Dolphin launched by the government of India, consider the following statements. First statement: Project Dolphin focuses exclusively on the conservation of marine dolphin species. Totally incorrect. Second statement, it aims to enhance the conservation of both riverine and marine dolphins by engaging local communities. 100% correct. Project Dolphin includes research and monitoring activities to assess dolphin populations and habitat health. 100% correct. Fourth statement, the project is primarily funded by international environmental organization. Totally incorrect. So with respect to this question, the correct statements are statement 2 and statement 3 only. With this, I hope you had understood the important points related to Project Dolphin and also few other concepts. Also this survey, first ever survey found out given by it. So with this, let's move to the another slide and see what question we had brought there. With this, we had completed the questions with respect to current affairs. Now let's move to the another slide and solve the static topic based. you know as you know, currently we are discussing Indian polity, and in Indian polity we are discussing Parliament of India. And in the Parliament of India, the Rajya Sabha plays the major role in it. So to understand the Parliament, we need to understand the Rajya Sabha. So about Rajya Sabha, we need to understand few facts. It is the federal house, we should know that. It is what does it represent? It represents states and UTs. It is the federal house representing the states and union territories with assemblies. Union territories with assemblies, not every union territory, but those with assemblies. For example, UT of Delhi, Puducherry, and Jammu and Kashmir, as they have the assemblies, so it represents all the states and those UTs who have the assemblies. And also about the Rajya Sabha, you should know that what is the maximum strength of the Rajya Sabha. The maximum strength is 250 is the maximum strength of the Rajya Sabha, and out of this, the sanction strength is 245. Out of these 245, 233 are elected, 233 members are elected, and 12 members are nominated by the president. And one thing more about the Rajya Sabha, please remember that the seats allocated for the Rajya Sabha is given under the 4th schedule of the Constitution. So this much information, I guess, is important for today's question to answer this question. Now let's answer the question here. Here the question says Article 80 of the Indian Constitution, consider with respect regarding the Article 80 of the Indian Constitution, consider the following statements. First statement, Article 80 deals with the composition of the Lok Sabha. No, it does not deal with the composition. Second, it specifies the allocation of seats in the Rajya Sabha to the union and to the states and union territories. 100% correct. Third statement, it mandates that the President of India nominate 12 members to the Rajya Sabha from among persons having special knowledge or practical experience in matters such as literature, science, art, and social services. 100% correct. Second statement and third statement are correct. Fourth statement, it outlines the procedure for the election of the Vice President. Totally incorrect. So with respect to this question, the correct statements are statement 2 and statement 3. So with this, I hope you had understood the question as well as the few important points with respect to Rajya Sabha which we discussed here. Now with this, let's move to the last part of our discussion where we will solve a previous year question and see what question was asked there. Here the question is with respect to the physical geography. This question was basically asked in year 2000, and see what was the question. The question says, which one of the following lakes forms an international boundary between Tanzania and Uganda? 100% it is Lake Victoria. So please remember that. What is the correct answer for that? Remember these lakes in Africa, so it becomes important for us to answer such questions. About Lake Victoria, please remember it acts as the international boundary between Tanzania and Uganda. It is the largest lake in Africa and second widest freshwater body in the world. So with this, we complete our today's discussion. I hope you would have liked the video. I hope you would share it with your friends, and I definitely hope you would subscribe the channel. Thank you for staying with me. Thank you very much, and have a nice day.